Most dog owners in the Philippines know how to feed their dogs, but very few know how to properly groom them, especially during the hot months. And that gap in knowledge is costing dogs their comfort, their health, and sometimes their lives. I'm Jhonna. This is Jhonna Unfiltered. Today we're talking about pet grooming in the Philippines. What to do, what to check, and how to do it even when you don't have money for expensive products or a pet salon nearby. Quick disclaimer. I'm not a veterinarian or a professional pet groomer. Everything I share here is based on research and personal experience as a dog owner in the Philippines countryside. For serious health concerns, always consult a licensed vet. Let's get into it. I have 2 dogs, both Filipino mixed breed dogs, and I live in the countryside where there are no pet salons nearby. So everything I've learned about grooming, I've had to figure out with limited resources. And I want to share that with you because I know a lot of dog owners here are in the same situation. Let me start with the most important thing first. Grooming isn't just about appearance. It's about health. When you groom your dog regularly, you're not just making them look better. You're checking for problems. You're removing things that could cause illness. You're preventing situations that are much harder and much more expensive to deal with once they've been ignored for too long. Let's start with Filipino mixed breed dogs, because that's the majority of dogs in this country. Filipino mixed breed dogs, commonly known as Aspins, are extremely adaptable animals. Their bodies have developed over generations to handle the Philippine climate reasonably well. Their coats are typically short to medium length, which is actually ideal for a hot and humid environment. They shed seasonally, and their skin tends to be relatively resilient compared to imported pure breeds. But resilient doesn't mean maintenance-free. And during the hottest months, which in the Philippines are March, April, and May, even these adaptable dogs need extra attention. During the hot season, the most important thing you can do for any dog is make sure they have constant access to fresh, clean water. Dehydration in dogs can happen faster than most owners realize, and it leads to serious problems. If your dog is spending time outdoors, check their water several times a day and refill it frequently. Water sitting in direct sunlight gets warm quickly, and dogs are less likely to drink warm water in sufficient amounts. Shade is equally important. A dog left in direct sun during the afternoon in April is a dog at risk. Even if the dog has access to water, the combination of direct heat and humidity creates conditions where heat exhaustion can develop. If you can't provide shade through structures or trees, a piece of fabric or tarpaulin strung up to block the sun makes a real difference. Avoid walking or exercising your dog between 10 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon during hot months. The pavement gets hot enough to burn paw pads during peak heat hours. Early morning walks, before 7, or evening walks after the temperature drops are much safer and more comfortable for the dog. Now let me talk about bathing because this is where a lot of owners have questions. For Filipino mixed breed dogs, bathing once a week or every 2 weeks is generally sufficient during normal months. During the hot season, you can bathe them a little more frequently every week or even twice a week because the heat causes more sweating and skin oil buildup. The key is to use gentle soap that won't strip the natural oils from their coat completely. The most affordable and widely available option for owners who can't access pet shampoo is plain, unscented human baby shampoo. This is mild enough for most dogs and won't cause significant irritation. It's not ideal as a long-term solution because dog skin has a different pH level than human skin, but it's a safe and accessible option for occasional use. Dish soap, specifically the kind used for washing plates, is something many Filipino dog owners use, but this should only be for specific situations. It's quite effective at killing fleas because the soap suffocates them on contact. You can lather the dog thoroughly with dish soap, let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then rinse. This can help significantly with a flea problem. But it should not be used as a regular bathing soap because it's too harsh on the skin if used frequently. After bathing, make sure the dog is fully dry before letting them sleep or rest in an enclosed area. A dog that stays damp for too long, especially in a humid climate, can develop skin fungus or bacterial infections. If you don't have a dryer, towel drying followed by air drying in a well-ventilated space works. Just make sure the skin, not just the outer coat, is actually dry. Now let me talk about ticks and fleas, because this is one of the most common and persistent challenges for dog owners in the Philippines, especially in rural areas. Ticks are not just uncomfortable for the dog. They can transmit serious diseases, including ehrlichiosis, which is a bacterial infection that can cause severe illness and even death if untreated. Early detection and removal are critical. The most important grooming habit for tick control is regular manual checking. After a dog has been outside, especially in grassy or brushy areas, run your fingers through their fur slowly, paying attention to the areas where ticks prefer to attach. These are the areas with thinner skin and good blood supply. Behind the ears, between the toes, under the front legs where they connect to the chest, around the neck, and at the base of the tail. These are the spots you need to check every single time. To remove a tick, use fine-pointed tweezers or your fingernails if you don't have tweezers. Grasp the tick as close to the skin as possible. Do not grab the body of the tick, because squeezing it can inject more toxins into the dog. Pull straight upward with steady, even pressure. Don't twist, don't jerk. Just a slow, firm, straight pull. Once you've removed it, kill the tick by submerging it in rubbing alcohol or crushing it. Don't just flick it away, because it will reattach to another host. After removal, clean the bite area with rubbing alcohol or whatever mild antiseptic you have available. For prevention, coconut oil is one of the most accessible natural options in the Philippines. Rubbing a small amount of coconut oil onto the dog's coat, particularly around the ears, neck, and base of the tail, can help deter ticks and fleas because they don't like the smell and texture. It also moisturizes the skin and adds a shine to the coat. This isn't as effective as commercial tick prevention products, but for owners who can't afford those products, it's a genuinely useful and available option. A diluted solution of water and white vinegar, roughly equal parts, sprayed onto the fur before walks can also help repel ticks. Vinegar has a smell that ticks dislike. Again, this is supplementary rather than a complete solution, but it adds a layer of protection. For fleas specifically, the dish soap bath method I mentioned earlier is effective for addressing an active infestation. For ongoing prevention, regular bathing, keeping the dog's sleeping area clean and dry, and vacuuming or washing any fabric your dog regularly contacts are all part of managing the flea population. There are affordable commercial tick prevention options available at farm supply stores and some pet shops, including spot-on treatments and tick collars that are significantly cheaper than premium brands. If you can access these, they're worth the investment because the cost of treating a tick-borne disease is much higher than the cost of prevention. Now, let me talk about fur care more specifically. For Filipino mixed-breed dogs with short to medium coats, brushing once or twice a week is usually sufficient. This removes dead hair, distributes natural skin oils, and gives you the opportunity to check the skin for any redness, bumps, parasites, or unusual spots. Use a simple rubber brush or a basic dog brush if you have one. If you don't, a slightly damp cloth rubbed over the coat can help remove loose hair and surface dirt. Check the skin for any areas of redness, hair loss, excessive flaking, or small bumps, which could indicate allergies, parasites, or skin infections. Hot spots, which are areas of inflamed, moist skin that the dog keeps scratching or licking, are common in humid environments. If you notice one, keep the area clean and dry. Trim the fur around it if possible and monitor it. If it spreads or the dog seems to be in significant discomfort, a vet visit is necessary. Now let me talk about the popular imported breeds that many owners in the Philippines also keep because their grooming needs are significantly different from Aspins. Starting with double-coated breeds, which include the Siberian Husky and the Golden Retriever. These dogs have 2 layers of fur. An outer coat that protects from elements and an undercoat that provides insulation. In cold climates, this system is brilliant. In the Philippines, it creates a very specific challenge. Double-coated dogs shed their undercoat seasonally in what's sometimes called blowing coat, where they shed large amounts of undercoat over a period of days to weeks. During this time, the loose undercoat needs to be brushed out actively and thoroughly. If it isn't, the dead undercoat remains trapped against the skin, blocks airflow, and can cause overheating and skin problems. An undercoat rake or a de-shedding brush is the ideal tool for this. For owners who can't access these specific tools, a fine-toothed comb used slowly and carefully through the coat can help remove loose undercoat. Never shave a double-coated breed. This is a common mistake people make, thinking it will help the dog stay cooler. Shaving a double-coated dog actually disrupts the insulation system and can cause the coat to grow back incorrectly. The double coat, when properly maintained, actually helps regulate temperature in both directions. For Siberian Huskies and Golden Retrievers in the Philippines, bathing every 2 to 3 weeks is reasonable, with thorough blow-drying or air-drying after each bath. Daily brushing during shedding seasons and at least 2 to 3 times per week at other times is necessary to keep the coat healthy and prevent matting. For long-coated and single-coated small breeds like Shih Tzu, Poodle, Toy Poodle, and Miniature Poodle, the grooming needs are different but equally important. Shih Tzus have a long, flowing coat that mats easily if not brushed daily. In a hot and humid country, many owners choose to keep their Shih Tzu in a shorter trim called a puppy cut, which reduces the matting risk and keeps the dog cooler. If you can't afford professional grooming, learning to do a basic trim at home with a pair of blunt-tip scissors is a practical skill. Focus on keeping the fur around the eyes, ears, and paws trimmed to prevent irritation and infection. Poodles of any size have a curly coat that doesn't shed much, but mats extremely quickly without regular brushing. They need brushing every 1 to 2 days and professional trimming or home trimming every 6 to 8 weeks. For owners without access to professional groomers, a simple short overall trim using scissors or clippers, leaving fur at a manageable length, reduces the maintenance significantly. Chihuahuas come in 2 coat varieties. Short-coated Chihuahuas need very minimal grooming, just regular brushing and bathing. Long-coated Chihuahuas need more frequent brushing to prevent matting, particularly behind the ears and on the chest. For all breeds, one of the most overlooked aspects of grooming is ear cleaning. Dogs with floppy ears, like Shih Tzus and Golden Retrievers, are particularly prone to ear infections because moisture gets trapped inside and creates a warm, dark environment where bacteria and yeast thrive. Check your dog's ears weekly. They should smell neutral. If there's a strong smell, excessive dark discharge, or the dog is shaking their head and scratching at their ear, that's a sign of infection and needs veterinary attention. For routine cleaning, a small piece of cotton or a soft cloth dampened with a little clean water can be used to gently wipe the visible part of the ear canal. Don't insert anything deep into the ear. Now let me talk about teeth, because dental health is something most dog owners in the Philippines don't address at all, and it has significant consequences over time. Dogs that never have their teeth cleaned develop significant tartar buildup, which leads to gum disease, tooth pain, and eventually tooth loss. The bacteria from severe dental disease can also enter the bloodstream and affect the heart, kidneys, and liver. If you can afford dog toothbrush and toothpaste, use them. Dog toothpaste comes in flavors dogs accept, like chicken or beef, and should never be replaced with human toothpaste, which contains ingredients that are harmful to dogs. For owners who can't access these products, there are alternatives. A piece of clean gauze or a soft cloth wrapped around your finger and rubbed gently along the teeth and gum line in circular motions is effective at removing soft plaque buildup. Do this 2 to 3 times per week consistently, and it makes a real difference. Raw bones, specifically large, raw beef bones that the dog can chew rather than swallow whole, act as natural teeth cleaners. The mechanical action of chewing scrapes plaque off the teeth. Make sure the bone is large enough that the dog can't swallow it whole, and always supervise this activity. Giving your dog crunchy vegetables like raw carrots occasionally can also help with mild plaque removal and is a safe, inexpensive treat. Finally, let me talk about nails, which is another often neglected aspect of grooming. Dogs that walk primarily on concrete or hard surfaces will wear their nails down naturally. Dogs that spend most of their time on grass or soft ground may need nail trimming every 4 to 6 weeks. Overgrown nails are uncomfortable for walking and can eventually curve inward and cause pain or injury. If you don't have dog nail clippers, a human nail clipper can work for small breeds with thin nails. For larger dogs, the nail is too thick and you'll need proper clippers. The critical thing when trimming nails is to avoid cutting the quick, which is the pink blood vessel inside the nail. For dogs with light-colored nails, you can see it. For dogs with dark nails, trim small amounts at a time to be safe. If you accidentally cut into the quick and the nail bleeds, apply pressure with a clean cloth and it will usually stop within a few minutes. Before I close, I'd love to hear from you. What grooming challenges do you deal with most often with your dogs? And have you found any affordable solutions that work well in the Philippine setting? Drop it in the comments because I think real owner experiences from people living here are more useful than anything I can get from a textbook. Thank you so much for spending a part of your day with me here at Jhonna Unfiltered. For those of you who are new to this space, I want to share a little bit about what I'm building here. This channel is my personal and learning diary. I am an ESL tutor and a solo dweller in the Philippines, living a life fueled by curiosity. Whether I'm researching the hidden traits of animals, diving into the mysteries of the natural world, or exploring the deep threads that connect Filipino, Japanese, and Korean cultures, this is where I document my journey. I believe that as technology and the world grow more advanced, our minds should grow right along with them. I use this text-to-speech voice to tell my stories for a very practical reason. As a full-time teacher, I have to be incredibly careful with my vocal cords. Managing vocal nodules means I must save my voice for my students in the classroom, but I refuse to let that silence my creativity. Using these digital tools allows me to share my research and my life with you while protecting my health. On this channel, there are no fixed themes and no performances, just honest documentation. From insights gathered in my global classroom to my experiences crafting a solo retirement lifestyle on my own terms, this is my way of staying productive and moving forward. I am currently working toward my goal of 1,000 subscribers so I can turn this passion into a sustainable future for myself and my pets. If you found something meaningful in today's video, please consider subscribing to help me reach that milestone. Your support, whether it's a comment or a view, truly helps me keep the depressing thoughts at bay and keeps my focus on building something beautiful. If you'd like to support my journey even more, you can check out the Buy a Treat for My Pets link in the description. Shiro and the rest of the pack send their thanks. Thank you for being a part of this journey. I'm Jhonna, and I'll see you in the next one.